80% of women that come into my salon are ruining their hair because they don't know how to wash it. Let's make sure you're not making the same mistakes. Hair oiling. A few years ago, I had a client who had a really common problem where her roots were oily and her ends were really dry. She was somebody who washed her hair every single day, even though I did everything I could to convince her not to. She'd say, I have to wash every day because my roots are so oily, it's just gross not to. So I asked her a question. I said, when you get your hair done here at the salon, do you still have to wash it the next day? And she says, you know what? No, actually, my hair stays clean for days when you do it. So I'm like, okay, easy fix. I'm just gonna show you step by step the entire washing process that we do here at the salon so you can get the exact same results at home. Next time she comes in, I'm really excited. I'm like, hey, how often are you washing your hair now after I showed you all that stuff? Same thing. She's still washing her hair every single day. She still has oily roots. She still has dry ends. So I'm like, is there anything you can possibly think of that you might be doing differently at home that you're not doing here? She's like, no, I do all the exact same things that you showed me every single time, just not working for me. So at this point, I'm completely stumped. I have no idea what to do. I gave her all my advice. Everything that I give to people that usually works, it's not working for her. But as she's leaving, I see that she's buying more hair oil. And I saw in the system she actually bought hair oil the last time she came in too. And there's no way she should need to be buying hair oil again this soon. So I asked her, like, is this hair oil for you or is it for somebody else? She's like, oh no, I go through it really quickly with this whole hair oiling routine that I do before I wash, so it's for me. And then it's like, duh. Of course, like it was the hair oiling the entire time. Even if you do everything right, hair oiling before you wash is gonna throw everything off. You're wasting the oil, you're wasting shampoo just to get it out. You're gonna have oily roots just like my client did, and then it's gonna make you have to wash every day so your ends are gonna be dry. Please skip the pre-oiling routines. Will ruin your hair if you make it part of your wash routine. Please don't do it. Water temperature. All right, so elephant in the room, you've probably heard that hot water is terrible for your hair. In my salon, we always use at least warm water because it does help open up the scalp and it rinses out the buildup oil and grease much better. But my salon co-founder, Leslie, loves scalding hot water.
Sure do.
Literally steaming all the way hot. Every time she gets her hair done by a new person, she's like, can you go a little bit hotter? And they're like, are you sure this isn't really too hot?
It's not. It's never too hot.
But I've been using the hottest water possible on her for almost a decade. Her hair looks like this. It's the best it's ever looked. The hot water myth comes from people repeating stuff that they saw on Google, not firsthand experience like this. Use whatever temperature you want. That's what we do here at the salon. Works out for everybody. All right, scalp stimulation. This needs to be part of your wash routine. It's gonna improve blood flow to your scalp and the hair follicles, and that blood flow brings nutrients, and those nutrients promote healthy hair and hair growth, and both of those things are good. You want those, trust me. But like everything in hair, there's a right way and a wrong way to do this. Hair commandment number one, less is more. If somebody tells you some complicated hour-long scalp massage routine with a wooden brush, I want you to make a scene like, I don't know this person, they're harassing me, because they mean you harm. You gotta get away.
That sounds magical, actually.
Not when you're doing it to yourself. Your scalp is way easier to irritate than your normal skin. And once it's irritated, it can be really hard to calm it back down and get things back to normal. So anything that kind of hurts or turns your scalp red, any type of exfoliating scalp scrubs, those things are much more likely to hurt you than they are to help you. And the crazy thing is, there's really no upside to doing those things. There's no benefit to it at all if you get your scalp stimulation correctly in this next part. Washing correctly. 80% of women were never taught how to properly wash their hair. And I don't mean like they're making little mistakes here and there. I mean they're doing everything completely wrong and can massively improve the health of their hair if they just knew what to do right in the first place. So I want to introduce you to what I call the split method. This is the healthiest possible way you can wash your hair. The biggest difference is the way that you apply shampoo to your hair. Most women are doing this thing with their hands.
It's called washing your hands. We do.
To lather the shampoo up, and then they're just kind of like running it over their hair with their hands like this, swooshing it everywhere. And what that does is it wastes the shampoo. Really, you're cleaning your hands and makes it so it can't really do anything. So let's go over the split method real quick. And I call it that is because it's splitting your hair into two different zones. The first is the roots, which is where the shampoo goes. Shampoos is never gonna go on your mids or your ends. The second zone on the bottom is where your conditioner is gonna go, on the mids and the ends. Conditioner never goes above that by your roots. That's a no-go. So why are we splitting it up like this? Because the oil that makes your hair oily is produced by sebum glands up on your scalp. Therefore, all the oil that your shampoo needs to remove is up here on your roots. Your mids and ends down here do not produce oil. I promise you, if you apply shampoo there, you're just gonna dry them out because there's no oil to get rid of. Now, conditioner, like we said, does not go in the upper zone by your roots because your scalp produces oil, and when that oil mixes with the conditioner, it gets really heavy and forces you to have to wash early. Not healthy for your hair, not what we want. So let's take this top zone here of the split method and talk about how to apply your shampoo. First off, like we said, the lathering thing in your hand, very bad idea. When you lather your shampoo, it turns into bubbles. The bubbles get stuck on top of your hair and end up just doing nothing. Instead, you want to leave the shampoo in liquid form so you can press it through your hair all the way down to the layer of oil that's on your scalp. Here's how we do that. Where to apply shampoo. All right, so the last thing you want to do is put all your shampoo in your hand and just slap it on top on some one big glob. There are 4 separate places that you want to apply your shampoo. You have the crown, which is like the top back of your head. Then you have the very top of your head. Then you have the sides of your head. The crown is always going to be the dirtiest part of your hair, so that's priority number 1. Your hair is thickest there, so you're going to want to physically pull the hair apart to open up a path for the shampoo to get all the way down to the scalp. Pour about a quarter size of shampoo into your hand, maybe a little bigger if you want. Take half of it, and you are gonna push that all the way up against the scalp of your crown. Now, look at what's left. Take half of that shampoo, and starting an inch back from your hairline, you're gonna put it on the top of your head, pushing it down all the way to the oil on your scalp. Spread the shampoo that's left on both your hands. Don't lather, just spread it so it's an even layer. Take that and put it on the sides of your head, again, starting an inch back from the hairline. And if you're one of those people who sweats when you sleep, you can also take some and just kind of move it down to the nape of your neck at the very bottom of the hairline there. Now, for the people out there that are like, Chris, I didn't put any shampoo on my mids or ends. How are they possibly gonna get clean? It's cool. This is totally fine. What we're gonna do is after we scrub all of this in, we're gonna take a little bit of the suds, we're gonna bring those suds down to your mids and ends. That's gonna be all the shampoo you need to get it super clean. How to scrub. All right, so here is where everything comes together. This is where the magic happens. We have the shampoo perfectly positioned right on top of that layer of oil on your scalp, ready to take it out. We're gonna take our fingers, not our palms, because palms do absolutely nothing, doesn't work. We're gonna take our fingers, claw up, and use the fingertips to really get in there. It should be a motion like this. Using your fingertips with pressure is the best way to break up that layer of oil and actually dissolve it in the shampoo. And if you didn't know, shampoo actually works by having one side of it bind to oil and the other side of it bind to water. So when you end up mixing the shampoo with the shampoo binds to the oil, grabs it, and won't let go. Then when you rinse with water, the other side of the shampoo binds to that water and it goes straight down the drain with it. It's pretty coolest
Yeah, man. Shampoo's the coolest hair product.
But remember the last time you made bacon and eggs and the pan had all this like oil in there? I want you to imagine that oil underneath a bunch of your hair. It's gonna be really tough to get and really tough to clean. So there's no way that a single wash is ever gonna be able to get all the oil out. So you're gonna have to do a second wash, but this is really easy. It's the exact same thing. Just repeat everything that you did in the first wash. When is your hair actually clean? All right, so there's this awesome way to tell exactly when your hair is clean. It goes like this. When there's no more buildup or oil in your hair, your shampoo has nothing to bind to. And it turns out that this is actually a bubble. This is the suds and lather, whatever you want to call it, and you only get lots of this when there's no more oil or buildup and your hair is clean. So every time you wash your hair, your goal is to get lots of bubbles and lather. Once you see that, you know that your hair is clean. This should usually happen on your second wash, but if you're somebody who goes like 7 or more days between washes,
That's me.
you may need a third wash, like
I don't
Leslie.
need a third wash.
Too much shampoo. That last section is important because if you don't know it, you can end up overwashing your hair, leaving yourself with a dry, tangly mess down here that wants to break off. So what is overwashing? Remember how we said the shampoo removes oil? There's actually both good and bad oil on your head. The bad oil is the gross stuff that makes your hair feel dirty, and we want to get rid of that. It's bad. But what I want to talk about is the good natural oil inside your hair that keeps it healthy, moisturized, and shiny. We want to keep that. So in this scenario, you are basically Goldilocks. You want to use enough shampoo to get your hair clean, but not so much to where it starts to strip the natural, healthy moisture from your hair. You might think it's better to stay over here like, oh, I don't want to accidentally strip any moisture. I better be safe than sorry. But that's actually a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap! Everybody calm down. But that's a trap because if you leave any oil behind, and I mean any, your hair is gonna get dirty really fast. Because if you leave oil behind, there's bacteria in it, and it's gonna spread like crazy and make everything gross. That's gonna make you have to wash even sooner, which ends up stripping more oil than you had than if you just washed normally. So don't do that, please. So ideally, you want to be right in the middle there, where it's not too much, not too little, but this is real life. You're not going to be able to get it perfect every single time. You're going to strip a little bit of that good oil, but that's okay. That's why we go days between washes, to give your hair time to restore the good natural oils and moisture. If you don't want to have to worry about all that, you can get my weightless shampoo and conditioner. I made it with a special cleansing ingredient that's too big to really get inside the hair shaft, so it can't go and remove the good oil from inside. For the conditioner, I'll let these people tell you all about it, but if you're into healthy hair, you should definitely check this out in the description. All right, conditioner. 99% of people on this planet will have much better hair just by knowing what I'm about to say. You are not using enough conditioner. You're probably like, my shampoo runs out so quick, but then I still have all this conditioner left. And that's normal if you have short hair. Again, remember with the split method, you only put conditioner below your ears. So if your hair is short, you don't need to use that much conditioner. Totally normal. But if your hair is not short, you need to use enough conditioner to coat all of your hair below your ears, which is something very few people do. Even stylists make this mistake all the time. The way to judge how much conditioner you should be using is to put it in your hair and go by feel. The feel that you're looking for is like that slick feeling the conditioner gives to your hair. You're gonna use that feeling to guide you on how much conditioner you should use, and you keep putting it on until all of your hair below your ears feels slick with conditioner. A lot of people just put conditioner on like the outside layer of their mids, and they skip applying it to the inside all the way through their hair everywhere. You need to put it all the way through, not just on that top layer. A lot of women are right-handed and they'll put the conditioner in their left hand, and then they'll go apply the conditioner like that. Do not plop it on there like that. Smooth it out over your hand, both hands, both hands. Pull it over if you want to, but both hands.
I actually have to like stare at my ponytail.
You should.
I stare at it.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I feel like my ends need it more than my mids.
Yeah.
But we naturally started our mids.
Get more for your ends. So remember, the rule is all hair below your earlobes down to your ends, all of it should be slick with conditioner, not just your mids, even your ends. It should all be nice and hydrated feeling like that. Believe it or not, I actually got into a fight with my chemist when I was making this conditioner because the chemist wanted the conditioner that doesn't give the slick feeling. It's just like flat to your hair. She was like, this is the new trend. It works exactly the same. Trust me, you're gonna be a trendsetter with this. And yes, it does work exactly the same, but without that slick feeling, it's so much harder for you to get good results, and that's what really matters. It took us like 2 extra months to get back to the slick version, but It's totally worth it. It's amazing. Anyway, all you have to do, let it sit for 2 minutes, then rinse it out completely all the way out. And you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I wasn't doing this the whole time. My hair looks way better. Please, try this out. You will never go back. All right, day 1 hair. On the day that you first wash and style your hair, it's gonna be super, super light. You're gonna have some flyaways. That's totally normal. They'll calm down really soon. Your hair might seem a little drier than you'd like, but that's totally fine. It's part of the process. Day 2 hair is most of my clients' favorite hair day.
It's mine.
Some moisture and oil has come back to their hair, but it's not like oily and gross. It just looks shiny and polished and awesome. You may say, well, Chris, why don't I just try and always have day 2 hair where it's always just like a little bit oily? The reason you don't do that is because you have to wash so often. Your hair doesn't get the longevity. When you're washing that often, you degrade the overall quality of your hair. It's worth it to have that day 1 and then have an awesome day 2, trust me. All right, day 3 hair starts to depend on your hair type and how quickly your hair gets oily. Medium and coarse hair probably still looks amazing. You can just keep going. But if you have fine hair, you may need to use some dry shampoo to make it through day 3. It's totally fine. If that's you and you have fine hair that gets oily quickly, 3 days is totally fine. That's the goal. If you can go 3 days between washes, good for you. That's how you're gonna have your healthiest hair. But if you have medium hair, you should aim for more like 4 to 5 days between washes. And then coarse hair should be 6+ days, but it's not uncommon to go much longer than that. Leslie will go 10 to 14 days between washes, no problem.
Don't tell people my secrets.
Sulfates versus sulfate-free. Sulfates are like that person in high school that you heard rumors about and you're like, oh, I'm staying away from that person. They're not cool at all. But then you had a class with them and the teacher assigned you to sit right next to them and you were forced to become their friend and you realized they're actually really cool. And the rumors were totally made up by jealous people. The truth is, most of the best shampoos do have sulfates. Some salons try to sell you on more expensive shampoos like, oh, this is better because it doesn't have sulfate. But it's not really better. They just try to make you feel like, oh, you're a peasant if you buy the sulfate shampoo, and you're never gonna be the belle of the Bridgerton ball if you use them.
It's the diamond.
All right, masks. Masks are basically conditioners that have healthy oils inside them. Conditioner is great, but you gotta remember, it really only affects the outside layer of your hair. Most of the time, that's totally fine. But if your hair is damaged and it's lost the healthy moisture inside of it, masks should be your go-to because what they do is they have oil that actually penetrates, gets inside the hair shaft. Conditioner just can't do that. So here's how you use a mask. Number 1, you're only gonna use one or the other, a mask or a conditioner, never both. Using both, super redundant. It's kind of like, it's like washing dishes that just came out of the dishwasher with hand soap that's not as strong as dish soap. It doesn't make sense. Why do that?
Everybody knows you scrub your dishes before they go in the dishwasher.
They have to be clean before they get cleaned.
100%. Guys, in the comments below, if you scrub your dishes before they go in the dishwasher, blow it up.
Now, if you have healthy hair, I would only recommend using a mask like once a month. But on the other hand, if you have damaged hair or if you're over the age of 50, I'd recommend using one every week or 2. Play around with it, see what you like. My favorite on the market right now is this one by Moroccan Oil. It's called Weightless Hydrating Mask. It gives you plenty of hydration, but doesn't weigh your hair down at all. That's exactly what you're looking for. But you need to know there's another one that looks exactly like this, except it has a little bit of brown on it. Do not buy that. Don't buy that and email me telling me that it sucks. Buy this one. Make sure you pay attention to the details. Let's talk about tools. There are a bunch of tools and brushes and stuff to help you out when you wash your hair. You even have these like little scrubber guys. They're a lot of fun to buy and mess around with. So if you want to use one of these, I've changed my mind. It's totally cool. You can totally use it. But remember, when you actually put that shampoo in your hair, fingertips to get your money's worth. This little guy before and after is just for fun. Don't rely on him for any results. All right, by now you know more about washing hair than all of your friends and family combined. So please, it's your job to help them out and figure out that this is the best way to do it. And as always, if you need to buy any products, make sure you take a look at my recommended product list first. It helps you figure out your hair type and then match products to your hair type that give you the best results. You can find that in the description below. Get that healthy hair, Have a good one, guys. Take care.